That we wanted to talk about seriously was a local icon, particularly in the ecumenical community here in Baltimore. Dr. Harold Carter Sr. transitioned a couple of days ago, and we just wanted to take a second to pay a personal tribute to him. I know you knew him a little bit better than I did. I knew Dr. Carter later. But you came up through New Shiloh, right?
Absolutely. I can remember the day that when I first met Dr. Carter. And standing in Sunday school, and we're singing "Yes, Jesus Loves Me," and this operatic voice broke out singing "Yes, Jesus Loves Me."
Is that Dr. Carter?
And I turned around. Of course, I had to see who it was.
Right.
And this very dapperly dressed 29-year-old man looked down at me and winked his eye, and it was Dr. Harold A. Carter.
Now, help me out here, because I found out recently, especially with this transition, how certain things surface. That when he came to Baltimore, he was embraced by some of the local voices at that time that were prominent personalities
Absolutely.
in the church community.
Dr. Alfred C.D. Vaughn was probably one of his best friends here in town. Marcus Garvey Wood, Marcus G. Wood was down the street. Providence Baptist Church was down the street from New Shiloh Baptist Church. New Shiloh was located at Fremont Avenue and Landale Street at the time.
Right.
And then up the street, Reverend Clinton was at the Macedonia Baptist Church. Down the street around the corner a little bit, Reverend Sidney Daniels was at the Emmanuel Christian Community Church. So there were quite a few of the what we call the deans who have been in place for so many years, and prominent figures in the community. They were the ones that actually embraced him, but he had something for them. He brought a whole new flavor to the ecumenical community in Baltimore.
And a lot of that was because of course, his journey.
Absolutely.
Which included time with Dr. Martin
With Dr. King. As a matter of fact, that was one of the hallmarks for him, because they said that he sounded so much. Who's this young man on the radio we're hearing that sounds so much like Dr. Martin Luther King? And with Dr. Harold A. Carter.
Well, I guess that happens when you're around somebody.
Absolutely. He had his influences, but it paid off for him.
It paid off. Now, in retrospect, for you personally, how will you remember Dr. Carter?
I'll remember him as a person whom was the person who reached me first, who got into the psyche and got to my level of understanding as to what all of this Christianity made the connection, what Jesus was all about. And understanding, he was one of the ones that brought some transition to the church. Still some of the traditional values, but then moving on into, okay, let's go down a little bit different road here. So, he was one of the ones that really incorporated a lot of the youth into more of the organism of the New Shiloh Baptist Church. And then,
the thing for me was how he was probably on the front end, pioneering end of the expanded concept of the church, of not just being a church of four walls for worship, but also providing resources and outreaches in the community, even with the village concept, which right now we still see.
Absolutely.
And they're still building on up at New Shiloh.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that that I think was really foremost in his mind, because the evangelism was his spirit.
Right.
He was an evangelist at heart. And one of the things that he wanted to do was to broaden the scope of the church. And to bring about, not just this is
holistic.
Exactly. And not just this is something that happens on Sunday and the rest of the week we forget about it. He brought a whole new paradigm. And then, of course, one of the first brand new built churches in the inner city.
That's correct. Inner city.
Didn't go out to the county.
That's
inner city. Moved right up there and bought the property, purchased the property at Fremont Avenue. at Monroe Street and Clifton. Monroe and Clifton.
And it's still a staple in that community.
It's still a staple, and of course has expanded that to newer buildings. They have a senior center. It's really nice.
So listen, Dr. Carter will be missed, and we just want to salute the legacy of a servant with a job well done.
Amen.
And, when we say goodbye to icons of this nature, it should not be as remorseful, but actually it should trigger a personal reflection to say, well, you know what? He got it right. Now, what is it that I can glean from his life that can help me get it right?
And, of course, not only get it right, but help me to get it right for others as well, because that's the spirit of the Lord.
And that's what he did.